Okay, we're up to the Gemara on Mem Ches on the base at the bottom of Guten Moya Tol, or the words of Harvey Posner, Moadim L'Simcha. Anyway, we saw yesterday that if a person was Mishana and went ahead and changed from what the Tanai was, I'm this, and turned out to be this, that, I turned to be this, I'm going to be Mekadosh with Kesef, and it turns out to be Zav, Ein Mekudeshes. Rabbi Shimon stated that what? Anytime you upgrade, then it's Mekudeshes. And the Gemara concluded it's a case where the woman made a shliach to go ahead and accept silver. It turned out to be gold. According to the Tanakama, she's makbar on silver. According to Rabbi Shimon, he's mara makom. She's just mara makom that she wants Mekudeshes and dafka not makbar on silver. The Gemara now will digress to show other people who hold the same idea of being mara makom. So right now, in the bottom of Memches on the days, Omar Abaya says Abaya, Reb Shimon Gamliel, Reb Elazar, Kula Svir Lahu Mara Makamhu. They all hold what? We're Mara Makam. Rabbi Shimon Hodamaran, as the Gemara has just stated and I just reviewed with you, Reb Shimon Gamliel did not. Now we learned there's a get pashit, guys, and a get makusher. A get pashit is a regular get. Pashit means straight. A get makusher was a get. We're worried that the Kohen might get angry, divorce his wife, and then regret it. So his get was a more difficult get. You wrote a line, you left a line empty, you folded it over, and you signed Edim on the back. So get Pashit Edav B'Seichai, get Pashit, the Edim are on the same page as the get itself. And Mikusha Edav Me'achayrav, the Edim are on the back of the sealed line. Pashit Shekasu Edav Me'achayrav. A get pashut, where you put the edim on the wrong side, umakusha shekasu edim misaychai, and a get makusha that you wrote edim on the inside. Shneim psulim, they're both pasul. If you change your pasul, Reb Chanina ben Gamliel line there, mikusha shekasu edim misaychai, mikusha that edim are inside kasha shiachalas is pashut. A get makusha you can make pashut, so you might be skipping lines, but the bottom line is you'd have a edim signed underneath the text of a document. Everything goes to call to the minig Medina. The Tanakama less than minig Medina. In other words, if the minig Medina is to use pashut, you could use kasha or vice versa. You go according to minig Medina. So why is Reb Shimon Gamliel saying that the Tanakama would disagree with? Where's the disagreement between them? From Ravashi, here's the disagreement. Biasra didn't he keep pashut in a place where they wrote a regular get, a get straight. And they wrote this get makusher again, the get that was had tied in the back to make Kahanim have a difficulty in divorcing his wives. Inami or else ba'asad and he gave him a makusher. It was normal to write a get makusher. V'avlei pashut kulyamlei pligi devadei kepeda v'adei yemakbed. That's not the machlokes between the Tanakama and Shimon Gamliel. Keep pligi. When's the machlokes? Biasad and higi bein b'pashut bein makusher. They use both. V'amalei obviously pashut. Go ahead and write a get pashut. V'azal v'avlei makusher. So now this is the same thing. People get engaged with gold. They get engaged with silver. If the one Madhyama says if you change, it's of course he's makbid. The one Rabbi Shimon who says what you change, he's not maramakim. So who are they over here? I could use either one. I told you one and use the other. Says the Tanakama, he's makbid. Right. Umasava, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel is of the opinion. Kepedo Umasava maramakim ulay. Rabbi Shimon of Gamliel is of the opinion that he's maramakim. So again, this is the second of the three of the Tanoim who said maramakim. The first was of Shimon regarding gold and silver by a shliach, when a woman made a shliach by Kidushin, and the second one is by Gerushin, where the one it changes from using a get pashut to get makusher in a place where they use both, whether it's hakpada or maramakim, what to use. Rabbi Elazar did not. Where's Rabbi Elazar that he's also maramakim? The isha sha'amra iskabeli giti mimakim ploni. A woman, we had this in the Masechta Gittin. A woman says to a shliach, "Be makabel my get in a certain place." The kibula gita mimakim acher, and she was makabel to get in the other place puzzle. Because according to the Tanakama, she's makbid that only in that place. Rabbi Elazar machshir al maksavar maramakim uloy. Now he's telling her that's the place she is now, but not I dafka want to make you a shliach for that place. Okay, those are the three places, guys, where a person would be on Malcolm. So three, Reb Shimon Gamliel, and Reb Elazar. Now, Says the Gemara, the machloikis between the Tanakhama of Shimon about the upgrade is only when it comes to a monetary upgrade. Aval b'shvach yuchsin, right? If it's a shvach of yuchsin regarding what? If it is shvach of yuchsin, that case where it's concerning yichus, then what? Everyone says ein mekudeshes. Even Reb Shimon would say what? She's not mekudeshes. Even Reb Shimon would say she's not mekudeshes. Now my timer, misana de rav mikaroi loy beinan. Misana de rav mikaroi, a shoe that is larger than my foot, loy beinan. In other words, if you think you're marrying some person, the person turns out to be a miyuchastic person, more miyuchas than you're accustomed to, right? You don't want that. You were happy with a low life. You didn't want somebody. So, for example, you think you're marrying a mamza, and it turns out to be in the sin. So, one second, I was happy with a mamza. I don't need someone higher than that because they're going to look down upon me. So, rather than go ahead and have that situation, if Shimon is a moida, that what that is it's Eina Mekudeshes. Just look at Rashi for a second. Al b'shvach yuchsin, al menash sha'ani mamzer. You get married on the condition that I'm a mamzer. Now again, if you're marrying a mamzer, it means that you're a mamzeres. Keep in mind, if you're marrying a mamzer, it's got to be that we're assuming that the Kidushin is a Kidushin that was going to not have to be nullified because you're marrying Chayv Elavan, right? Not the fact that the Kidushin is Tofes, but the concern that L'chari you wanted to stay. The Nimsa Shun is sin, and it turns out to be one of the members of the Gevonim that David asked. It's not better with this upgrade. Because he will be Mizgar Allah, he'll be Mizgar, he'll be haughty over her. Oh, I'm in a sin and you're a mamza. I want a shoe that fits. I don't want a shoe that's too big. That's a facetious lashon. Tanya Namihachi, we have a brayso that substantiates Ula's din that the machloikis is only by Mammon and not by Yuchsin. Moider of Shimon, he told the Shvach, Yuchsin Einam Kudeshes. That Shimon says if the trick is what? For an upgrade in Yuchsin, then it's Einam Kudeshes. Amr Vashi, Masisa Namideka, Mishnah is also meduyik to Ulis Pshat, the Ktani, Amanashani Kayin, right? It's going to be tomorrow's daf. I'm marrying you on the Kidushin that I'm a Kayin, Venimsa Levi, and found out to be a Levi, Levi Venimsa Kayin, the sin Venimsa Mamza, Mamza Venimsa the sin, Lay Polygraph Shimon. Shimon didn't argue. So where did he argue? He argued by Shvach Moment. He did not argue why by Shvach Yuchsin. So you have a riot to Ulis Pshat substantiated by a brisa, and now by a dik in the Mishnah, the fact that Rav Shimon did not argue by Shvach Yuchsin, it must be agrees that what? That Einu Mekudeshes. Maskul Amar Baravashi, Eladitani Almenash Sheish Li Bas. I am Mekudeshes to you on the condition that what? There's to be a Bas, by Shivcha Megudeles, or a older daughter, the Ein Loi, and he does not have one. Amanash Ein Loi, that I don't have one. Yeshon, he has one. The Shvach Mammon, who the Shvach Mammon to have what? A Shivcha or an older daughter to serve you. Achanami Dlei Polig, right? He didn't argue over there. Now the is Shvach money. So why didn't he argue over there? El Polig Beresha, he argued initially in the case of Ani Asher. He argued like in the first. He argued in the Mishnah guys on Mem Zayin Amid Beis. Mem Zayin Amid Beis, which we just Mem Ches Amid Beis. Excuse me. Al Menash Ani Asher v'Nimsa Ani Asher, and he argued on that. Polig Beresha who in the Sefer, and he argued in the Sefer as well. So in other words, the fact that he didn't say anything over here is not a good diak that he's not arguing. He had his argument in place initially, and he didn't repeat it. Once he said that on Iva Usher, I'm arguing, he's arguing here as well. He's arguing here as well. Who would in the Sefer? Hachanami Polig Beresha would in the Sefer. Hachi Hasha says, I don't understand your diak. Hasam Idi the Shvach Mammon, Polig Beresha, who would in the Sefer? It's Shvach Mammon, he argues by both. Hacha the Shvach Yuchsin, who, Emisa the Polig Nisli, he should have gone ahead, what? He should have argued. Why was it unnecessary to argue in the first case? Because he argued by Aniva Asher, which is Shvach Mammon, and later on, there's no need to repeat Shvach Mammon when he spoke about a Gedoyla, right? There's no need to argue. Why didn't he argue over there? Because it's Shvach Mammon, it's Shvach Mammon. So once he argued it, he argued by Shvach Yuchsin, he should have said something. Koye Levi, Mamas in the sin, and he didn't. So it's a raya that he agrees. So right now he's held serve. Ula's shot is held serve. The reason why he didn't argue by mamin, meaning in the case of what of Bas Gedoyla Shifra, the reason he didn't argue over there is why, because he argued by Ani V'Asher on Daf Mem Ches Amid Beis. Ani V'Asher is within mamin. He argued. So Mela, just like he argued over there, he argues over there by what? By Gdoila and Shivcha. It's not need to mention it because we mentioned it once. Mashen came, if he did argue by Yuchsin, Levi, Yisrael, Nisin Mamzer, he should have said something because it's a whole new sug. It's not Shvach Mammon, it's Shvach what? It's Shvach Yuchsin. And he didn't. Why? Because he agrees, Eina Mikudeshes. Iba Yisema, no. Iba Yisema, Hachanami Shvach Yuchsin. The case of Gedoila is also of Shivcha is also a case of Yuchsin. Misaris, my migodeles, gedoylo. Do you think it means an older daughter or an older servant? Mamish, my migodeles is gadeles. It means a gadeles. Rashi, Taisvis, my migodeles, gadeles. Pirish b'kuntris, chashuva. When we talk shehi chashuva b'nei anoshim, and since she's chashuv among people, devreha mekubalim, people will listen to her. So therefore, I don't want a miyuka sticker. I want a regular low-life eved that no one's going to pay a single attention to. I don't need some eved that is prestigious that people listen to. Very interesting second shot. Rabbeinu Chananel Pirish, Migadeles means Migadeles Seir. She was a hairdresser. Miriam Magdalene Seir, Mary Magdalene. Lenny, did you know that? The Magdalene, Mary Magdalene, Lenny, for the blog, comes from Migadeles Seir. The word Magdalene, Migadol, she's Migadol Seir. Come on, Migadol Seir, Nashia. The Kloya, since she goes from house to house to make braids, it's a Paris called the very mena. What do women do? My daughter is a makeup artist. They shmooze, they sit, they schmooze, as we'll see today. This is the Gemara of 9 Kavim of Dibur. They sit and schmooze. So Mamela, since she's a Megadella, she's a hairdresser, she's more prone to hear all the gossip. He goes, I don't need that. So that would be a din in Yochsin. And therefore Taka argues there as well. That's why he's not mentioned. The Amra, the Kala says, it's not good that she takes her words from me. And she goes and brings it in front of the neighbors. She's a Rachel, right? So in other words, this is a din of, not a din of mammon, a slave that could work better. This is a prestigious slave, or according to Taisa say, a hairdresser slave, where she's more prone to go ahead and I don't need such a miyuchastika slave that's going to go ahead and share the secrets that exist in my house. Almanashani Karaina. Okay, a person marries a woman on Nasta, he's a Bal Kaira, a Karaina. He can read 3 psukim based Knesses Mikudeshes. And so he reads them and he's metargem. Now it's mashma, he translates them. Now, fellas, it didn't say Achiyikra Shleish Psukim Vitargem. Vitargem means and it's targem. He said V'yir targem. It's mashma art scroll. Mashma will go ahead and give his own translation. That means he can go ahead and give his own translation. But Tanya, review doimer. Hamitargem pasuk surasai. If someone touches the pasuk literally, Harizeb B'dai is a liar. But Moisev Allah, and anyone who adds on to it, Harizeb Mecharu from Megadev. So what does it mean by Yitargem? Elamai Targem is Targem Didon. It means our Targem. Okay. Now, what does it mean to add on, not to add on? Let's see a little Taisus over here. Hamitargem pasuk surasai. Pirish Kimesh Musai. He translates this literally. Kigain, like Sana al Riv. How does he translate like Sana al Riv? Mitargem, like Sasid al Dina. Do not testify on a din. How he said, Badai is a lawyer. The Adrabba. Mitzvah hu lahoitzi hadin la'oira. It's a mitzvah to testify and bring the din to light. Elahachi mitargim le'sismana me al lafa. Do not hold yourself from answering. That's how we teach leisan al riv. Do not withhold yourself from answering. Leman de mitvoy minach bedina, the one who's taveil din. So that's what it means. If in other words, you teach it literally means the opposite of what it really means. V'amoisif alav pirish b'kontris sheba loima hoyel v'nitin reshus lahaisif. Since Onkelos was metargim and he added on, ani b'chol makom she'ertza, I'll also add on. He's considered a person who's mecharif, who's slandering the Torah. Pirish mivazes Hashem, mishanes devarav. Onkelos was Moisif. Onkelos shehaisif loimi died the Haisif. He didn't do it on his own. Shai Sinai nitin hatargim. Right, the targum was given at Sinai. Shnishtakeach v'chos v'yasloi kedama b'megillah. It was brought back. So very geschmack Taisus fellows, guys. So in other words, targum midaita means that he's saying his own translation literally and not adding on, as you see that Onkelos did. So and if he does what he says, okay, I'll add on like Onkelos adds on, then you're making a big mistake, because that Onkelos add on was all from Sinai. It was all given by Sinai. Very geschmacka Gemara and Megillah, the beginning there with Yonis and Uziel and other geschmacka things. Okay, anyway, nice block Gemara, fellas. Right, that he says a karyana, that he's a balkaira. I'm an expert reader. Add the korya raisa neviim ksuvim, and he has to be able to read Torah, neviim, and ksuvim b'diyuka exactly. Now you say he gets married. I'm shani shaina. I'm marrying you on condition that I'm one who learns. Chizkiya amar halachos. One who learns means you know halachos. Rabbi Yochanan amar Torah. You know Torah Shebel Sav. Meisivei Ezehu Mishnah, who's considered a learner. Rabbi Meir Oima Halachos, right? Rabbi Yehuda Oima Medrash. So Kashan Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says Torah. We have two pshatim on Mishnah. It's either Halachos or Medrash, but not Torah Shebel Sav. Kashan Rabbi Yochanan Amid Beis. There's the Gemara. My Torah. When Rabbi Yochanan said Torah, you know what he means? He means Medrash. Medrash Torah. Ani Mila Damale Tanina. That's provided he says Tanina. Avalamala Tana'ana, mashma is a Tana that is reciter of Brises. Then add the Tani Hilchasas, then he's got to be much greater than just a Tanina. He has to be Tana, an expert. I got to take this call, guys. Just for a second. Hello? Yes, Carmen. My mother is in the hospital. She has pneumonia.
Yeah, I heard yesterday. She was taken to the hospital when?
It's Friday.
On Friday, what happened? Oh my God.
Pneumonia.
I'm sorry, what happened?
She came down with pneumonia.
Oh my God, this is my second patient this weekend with pneumonia.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. So again, where the Gemara is going through different Lishonos. What do these Lishonos mean when you go ahead and you use them? And you go ahead and use these Lishonos. To what extent do you have to? Who are you? So we said if a person says Tanina, he just has to be able to learn, according either to learn Medrash. Tanana, he's got to be much more. He has to know halachas. He has to know Sifra, Sifri, Mechilta, Tesefta. I'm an Ashani Talmud. That I'm a Talmud. Einoimim Kishimin Ben Azai, Kishimin Ben Zoyma, the ultimate Talmidim, who never received smicha. That's why they're called Ben Azai Ben Zoyma. El Kol Sheshoyin Oisoi B'Chol Makom. Anyone that you ask him in any place. Davar Echad Bilimuda. You know, it's what he's learning. And what he's learning, you ask him and he knows. V'oimra. V'afil Masechta Kala, which is the easy Masechta, it speaks about Simchas, he's able to answer you in what he's learning. Amanashani Chacham, person says married on the Kidushin and Chacham, in Oimrim Kechachme Yavne, Kerebi Akiva V'Chaverov, El Kol Sheshoylon, I say, Davar Chachma V'Chol Makom, and you ask him any place, Oimer. Okay, so in other words, you don't have to be the biggest, you just have to be someone who's in the ballpark. Almanashani Gibor, Ein Oimrim Ka'avne Ben Ner Ukiyoev Ben Suruya, who were two great military leaders. El Kol Shechaverov Misyorim Mimenu Negvurasei. People are scared of him because of his gevura. Almanashani Ashir, Einoimim Kareb Elazar ben Charsim, the Gemara describes in Yuma his fantastic wealth. His father left him 1,000 ships, 1,000 villages. Kareb Elazar ben Azariah, who left from his flock 13,000 just the Maisa Behema. Anyone who ben Eira used Mechab that would be like an usher. I'm Nashni Tzaddik. I feel a Rosh Hashanah Mekudeshes. You hear this? I'm Nashni Tzaddik. Even this Rosh Hashanah is Mekudeshes. Why? Shemi Hira B'Tshuva. B'Daitai. Maybe he was Mahara B'Tshuva. So even though on the outside is a Russia, it's Mahara B'Tshuva, maybe it's a Tzaddik. Amanashani Russia, I feel it's Tzaddik Omer Mikudeshes. Shemi Hira Devar Avodas Kechav B'Daitai. And we know Avodah Zarah, B'Dait Machshava is Kamaisa by Avodah Zarah. So the Chayra, on the outside, you could be a Tzaddik, you have to be Chayish, then maybe you're a Russia. Asara Kavim Chachma Yardul Oilam. There's 10 Kavim Chachma that came down to this world. Tisha Nodla Eretz Yisrael, the 9 Eretz Yisrael took the Echad Kol Oilam. Kula. They say Avir the Aramachim, fellas, right? The Erev Eretz Yisrael is Machim. It's probably from this Gemara. The Gemara tells us that the Chachma is found in Eretz Yisrael. So the Mela would make sense. People live in Eretz Yisrael. It's not. It makes you the ear makes you just more intelligent. Yes. Hello. What hospital? Maimonides. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yoifi, Yard Oilam, 10 measures of beauty came down to the world. Tisha Notli Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim took 9 of them. Vechad Kalam Kulam, 1 was left for the rest of the world. Asar Kavim Ashiris Yard Oilam. Tisha Notlim Romim. The Romim, Kadmonim, some people are not going to sit. The Romans took 9 of that. Vechad Kalam Kulam. Yud Kavim Aniyas Yard Oilam. Yud Kavim of Aniyas. We're going to see 2 types of Aniyas, fellas. Aniyas in Torah and Aniyas in literally in poverty. Tisha not lebavel, echad kalayim kulay. Asar Kavim gasas yard deloilam. 9 Kavim of audacity, of haughtiness came to the world, and Tisha not le'elam. Elam took 9 of them. Echad kalayim kulay. Furthermore, gasas lebavel einachis. According to you, only Aniyas went to Bavel, but gasas not go to Bavel. Baksiv. I'm going to quote a very, very long pasuk. 2 women came out, and there was wind in their wings. And then the wings, they have the wings like the chasida, and they carried the ephah, where they bring the ephah, bias be'eretz shina, to build a bias be'eretz shina for huchan v'nichu sham. So there's a long Rashi over here. Let's do it. We have time. Ha'efa le'el minei kasiv zois harsha v'yashlech ha'sel toicha efa yetzahara. The efa is the yetzahara shenimsa b'yadam that was given over to the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah. The shlicha b'soicha, they threw it in a lead pipe. Kedamina Masanhedrin Shadyu Bedudo de Avra. That's when they got rid of the type of Avodah Zarah, fellas. They took the type of Avodah Zarah and they put it in a lead pipe. So that's what's discussing. The Elu Shtei Noshim. What's the 2? So the eighth is the Avodah Zarah. What's the 2 women symbolize? The Elu Shtei Noshim Nasu Yetzahara Shel Chanufa. They carried the Yetzahara of Chanufa, flattery, the Gasas Haruach, and haughtiness. Kidushin Ruach Bekanfeim Ki Gasas Haruach. The Chanufa near Be'enai the Daikle Mikanfei Chasida. That how do you know that that it came to Bavel? It came to Bavel Gasus because of the Chasida. Shoisa Chasida Sim Chaveirasa. With Chaverim, she makes herself friendly. Kidama Be'elu Trefis, but she's really not. So therefore, we have a diak. It came to Bavel, and it says the end. It says they can live is bias. A bias means 1 and not more than 2. So let's go inside, guys. So 2 things come down to the world, right? Hanifa and Gasus. And it goes to Bavel, and 1 remains in Bavel, and it's Gasus. So how can you tell that the Gasus is only in in Elam, when you're telling me you see that, and Aeneas is in Bavel, you see that one, in fact, the Gatzis went to Bavel, that it didn't go to Elam. V'amar b'Yechanan, 2 lines down where it gets wide. Suchanufa b'Gatzis Ruach, Sheyardu leBavel. And for the Gemara in Lahacha Nachas, the Gasus went to Bavel, and that's where it began. However, Ishtaruve Hud Ishtaruve Lahasan, and there it stretched out to Elam. So it began there, but ultimately it manifested itself in Elam. Dekanami Tani Libanas bias to build a house. It doesn't say 2 because 1 left. Hanifa stayed, but Gasus left. Shmamina. Ini is it really so? Vomamar. Siman legasis anios, anios bebabel. The siman of gasis is anios, and anios is in Babel. Who my anios the Torah. When it says anios in Elam means anios in Torah. Anios in Torah in Babel is anios in Torah. Achas lanu ketanim v'shadayim ein la. So there's 2 types of. So anios in Babel could refer to that fact they don't have money, but they do have Torah, and anios in other places would be the fact they don't have Torah. So we said that in Elam they were zeicha to learn, but they weren't zeicha to teach. So the nias of Torah was in Elam, and the nias of poverty was in Babel. Asara kavim gevura yad l'olam, 10 kavim gevura came down to the world. Tisha notlu parslaim, the Persians took 9, and 1 was left for the world. Asara kavim kinim yad l'olam, 9 kavim of kinim of lice came down to the world. Tisha not lamadai, and the rest went to the rest of the world. Asara kavim kshafim yard l'olam, 10 measures of kishuv came to the world l'olam, and tisha not l'mitzrayim. Asara kavim negoyim yard l'olam, 10 kavim of tzras came to the world. Tesna l'chazerim, the chazer took 9, and 1 was left for the rest of the world. Yud kavim znus yard l'olam, 9 kavim znus came down to this world. Tisha not l'Arabia, the Arabs took 9, and the 1 was left for the rest of the world. Famous story from Rav Hutna. If you ever listen to Arabic music, it sounds like, it always sounds like whining and crying. So he said, why were they crying? Because they missed out on the 10th. They got 9, but they were crying. They missed out on the 10th. They wanted all 10. Asar kavim asus yad l'olam tisha not l'meishan, and they took asus, 9 was taken by Meishan. There's a lot of mamzeris. Sunday they teach asus over here is mamzeris. That when it comes to lineage, that Meishan is a place where you can't touch the yuchsin. Asar kavim sicha yad l'olam. This we're all familiar with. 9 kavim of Dibur came down to the world. Tisha not l'nashim. Women took 9 of it, and 1 was left for the rest of the world. Asar kavim shichus yad l'olam. 10 kavim of drunkenness came to the world. Tishlu not l'kushim. The kushim took 9 of it, and 1 was left to the rest of the world. Asar kavim shena yad l'olam. Sleep came to the world. Tisha not l'avadim. Servants took 9 of it. Vecha not l'kol kuloi. And with that, I bid you adieu. Okay, this evening, Bez Hashem, I don't know if it's going to be in shul or just on Zoom. It'll be 8 o'clock around that area. I'll let you know. Okay.
Mike.
Refuah Shleim, Absurd Taivas.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you.